Hi, Chris.
Hi, Brian.
Hi. How you doing? Hey.
Good morning.
Hey, Brian from Snowwalker Bushcraft. We're up in Maine at the Maine Primitive Skills School. You remember this guy from the last time? Chris Wick. He's making coffee. Look. Cold out there. Fire in the wood stove. We're going to be up here for a little while up in Maine. So check out our adventures again. We'll get back to you.
All right, I'm going to start. Winter survival is the apex of your skill sets. Survival denotes nature illiteracy. And I'll repeat that. If you're suffering, all right, let me put it in the polite terms. Survival denotes nature illiteracy. You are illiterate in the natural world if you are suffering it. The way Tom Brown shares it, folks, if you find yourself suffering in a survival situation, Marlboro, it means your skills suck. That's a little harsh, but nature doesn't lie. She's going to give you an honest feedback about where you're at. Physically, awareness level, skill level, all of it. Sometimes it hurts. Sometimes it's cold. Right? So, take that to heart. Winter is the culling time. We don't say, our ancestors anyway, didn't say, I'm 42 and a half years old. They said, I've seen 42 winters. And all that that implies. I've watched my loved ones wither and starve to death. I've seen frozen people that I've hunted with. I felt the pangs of hunger for weeks on end. I have half a finger on this hand. I've seen 42 winters. Winter is the time of the cycle of the year of our lives where we reconcile the fact that we have to make room for the young ones coming. And that means we're not going to be here some winter. That's the time, that's the medicine of winter. So I drew this on the board here to show the oldest story in the world as it applies to this class. In the east, which is indicative of new beginnings, the sun rises in the east, we have the spring. It's a bountiful time. It's a crescendo of life. There's eggs, there's greens, there's still the roots rich in sugars waiting to explode that second year's growth of the biennials. The evening primrose, the burdock, the wild carrot are sweet. There are young, easy to catch animals. There are fish roiling in the rivers. You can't miss by scooping when the chubs are running. You can't help but touch fish running through your fingers. There's so much life. In the summer, there's that crescendo kind of lulls into a trough of activity. It's the lazy, hazy days of summer. We're shifting from the bounty of spring greens and flushing our toxins out of our bodies with diuretic and tonic dandelion greens, plantain, all of the things of the lawn, all the herbaceous plants and the new buds. Now we're harvesting medicines. The flowers are blossoming. The fruits aren't quite out yet until late summer, right? That first berry season, the strawberries in summer, they're kind of just like this joyful sweetness that keeps you out there. They're not really serious foraging material. You don't want to put a lot of them by because they're so tiny and they take so long. But hey, as soon as you see raspberries, there's this haunting thought. Winter's coming. I got to start thinking about gathering enough of everything to get through winter. And raspberries is in what? July? Winter's coming. So it starts with the raspberries and into the blackberries and the blueberries, and we're looking at the autumn olives and scouting for the wild rice. We're looking at the oak trees and those little tiny buds to see how many acorns there are going to be this year. And we're doing all of this to gather enough food in that next surge of bounty, fall. When the sun sets in the west, we gather around the table and we share the stories that we've gathered through our experience in the day. In a human lifetime, if the east is 0 to 8 years of wide-eyed wonder and explosive growth, and the south is the hard knocks of adolescence, west is middle age. It's the sharing of our gifts. It's our mentoring time. It's the time where the forest is raining acorns and beech nuts and butternuts and black walnuts. And all of the berries and apples and things are just waiting to be picked and spread their seeds. It's the medicine of symbiotic relationships and growing fat and ready for winter, because winter is coming. And in the north, the cold comes and it makes our joints a little stiff. and we start to get really mindful about energy efficiency. We put plastic on the windows to keep the draft from coming in. We get a lot of firewood ready, and we stage it so we can have it if the power goes out. We become masters of efficiency in the north. When the snows fall in the winter of the north, it turns our hairs white. And we have this definite understanding that this will fall and become soil, and whatever has motivated it will continue on in some form or fashion. Who knows? The Great Mystery, Big Bang, Buddha, whatever you want to call it. So the north is one of acceptance, tenacity, and efficiency. And that's the medicine of the winter. Winter survival is hard. It's hard if you're not preparing through the seasons to get through it. So in this class we have a twofold mission, if you will. The first is to share with you seasonal awareness of winter. Where are your dried herbs right now? Where are your stewed tomatoes? Where are your cans and cans of autumn olive jelly, pickled milkweeds? All of those things that you've gathered since the beginning of summer. Right? And we start with tapping the trees in March to boil down that sap into sugar that's more stable than syrup so we can get through winter the next year. When did you start your cycle to get through winter? Because if you just started right now, like Rich said, suddenly finding yourself out in the unorganized territories of Maine this time of year, in the immortal words of that gentleman from Guns N' Roses, "You gonna die!" And that's just real. Unless you have community that's seasonally aware. And then the second, far distant second to that, is if you have technology. The best of both worlds is amazing. And I haven't figured out what that quite looks like yet, but we're heading towards it. Where you have a deeply nature-connected and literate community married with modern technology. Right? So that's the introduction to this class, Winter Survival. And we only have a weekend, so we are going to run out of time. We're just going to run out of time. These are things I want to cover. I'm not sure how much we're going to get to, and we might get distracted. Right? Might end up doing winter foraging for a day. I didn't plan it, but it might come up that way because the landscape is part of this class. Right? So, at any rate, tonight I want to share something with you, and Colby's got to share something with you. The teaching methodology in this class is generally download and experience. And so this next piece is my download regarding shelter and staying warm in winter. And then Colby's going to take you out for an experience. Okay? And the goal is to help to define your edge. Where are you with your skill sets? It might be that you're really good with skill A, but ancillary to that is how you impart that skill to other people, how you work with others to achieve that final product. These are things that you can't find in a book. You got to find it within yourself and with the people you're working with or for. So we're not trying to give you gotcha moments. We're not trying to put you up on, and silhouette you and sarcastically make fun or poke at you. That's what that other paradigm does in the break rooms. Our sole purpose is to produce a student who leaves here with 5 years of homework and is really motivated in improving their craft and having the tools necessary to do so. Right? So you'll have a journal, your experience, your memories of what you've done here to carry you forward to the next level. Right? And that's our purpose. So it's going to be made real for you. And sometimes real means uncomfortable. But in this school, it never means chastising or risking well-being. Right? So if you're feeling uncertain about something, challenge by choice. If your toes are cold and everybody's moving really fast in a direction, stop. Let one of us know, my toes are cold. I'm going to go in and warm. That's great. That's wisdom. All right? You don't need to push yourself until you lose your pinky toe, then you're walking in circles for the rest of your life wondering why you did that.